Hey guys, it's HINA here from Rebalance Physical Therapy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and on the main lines in Narberth, Pennsylvania. And today I want to answer the question for some of you who might be having pelvic floor dysfunction but want to know, does my scoliosis have anything to do with my pelvic floor issues? Whether it's weakness or whether it's tightness of the pelvic floor and you're having pain issues. So, again, the answer is it depends on how severe the scoliosis is. And it also depends on what other things are going on with you. So again, if you're watching this video, I'm thinking that you probably already know what a scoliosis is. But for some of you who don't, okay, and that are having pelvic floor dysfunction and are trying to figure out what's going on. So a scoliosis can be a anatomical curvature of the spine. Now you can either have a C curve, kind of like this, or you can have something called an S curve where part of your spine deviates this way and then it comes along this way. And you can have different variations of that. Now when this happens to your spine, it can actually change the way that your pelvis sits. Okay, so you can be torqued one way if the scoliosis is in the opposite way, or vice versa. Okay, and that can change the shape of your pelvis. Now, within the pelvis sits your pelvic floor. Okay, so this is the pelvis again, and inside there, here's all the musculature, all in here, which is in red, and on the outside, this is your pelvic floor. So if you have a change, okay, because of the scoliosis in your pelvis, then anything that attaches to these bones will also change. That includes the pelvic floor. And again, there's 16 plus muscles of the pelvic floor that can change, okay? So if it's shifted in one direction, you can have weakness or tightness in certain muscles and weakness and tightness in other muscles. And that can create a lot of everything from incontinence issues, or it can create everything from pain with intercourse, or just, burning with urination, rectal pain, anything that, anything that affects the bladder, the rectum, as well as the vaginal area. The pelvic floor can actually create issues in that area. But here's the thing. With a mild scoliosis, okay, in my opinion, it's rarely the case that because of a mild scoliosis, this is creating all the issues related to pelvic floor. And if you've gone to already have treatment of your pelvic floor and it hasn't improved, again, I don't want to blame it on a mild scoliosis. Sometimes in a moderate to severe scoliosis, this could have an effect on your pelvic floor. But again, this doesn't mean that your pelvic floor is hopeless and that you can't have sufficient treatment for it. Now, the thing is again, with a scoliosis, you're not only going to have changes in your pelvic floor, but you're going to have changes within all the other musculature, potentially, of your spine, okay? And if, because of the scoliosis, which develops usually in your youth, if you've had compensations over the years and certain muscles have become tight and certain muscles have become weak, both not only in the back, but also in through the abdomen and in through the deep musculature that goes from the abdomen into the pelvis and to the hip, then those muscles can basically create change also within the pelvis, and then your pelvic floor might compensate and become either tight, weak, maybe you had a baby prior to this developing of weakness or issues with your pelvic floor. That creates another layer of issues. So again, it's kind of this layering effect. So you don't want to completely blame a scoliosis on pelvic floor dysfunction, but it could be part of the piece, including all the other things that could have gone on in your history, again, related to any falls or traumas you may have had, any sports injuries that you may have had, any hip issues that you may have had for some of you runners who develop ITB, syndrome, iliotibial band syndrome, and things like that. Because again, you've got muscles that attach from the hip into your pelvic floor. So again, and then maybe you had children, right? So that creates another issue with your pelvic floor. So again, I call it kind of this layers of an onion, okay? You have all these layers that are forming, and then your pelvic floor just happens to be the victim of a lot of this, and then it becomes dysfunctional, either painful or weak, or a combination of both. So again, if you have a scoliosis, it's just part of the history. But I never want to blame it completely on a scoliosis, especially in mild to even moderate cases. And severe cases, you kind of have to take it case by case and kind of find out what has been going on. So I hope that answers many of your guys' question on, is my scoliosis creating my pelvic floor issues? And if you do need to have this treated, or you haven't had this treated, then you really do need to find an integrated pelvic floor and orthopedic physical therapist that can help you understand what is going on and knows how to treat this in again, an integrated way, meaning they're not just treating your pelvic floor, but they're treating your spine, they're treating upper back, they're treating your hips, because they'll know how to create an improved alignment and an improved synchrony and symmetry and balance of all the musculature in your hip, your pelvis, and your low back. And obviously, if you live in the Philadelphia area or the main lines of Philadelphia or anywhere in close proximity, then it's a no-brainer. You can give us a call here at Rebalance Physical Therapy. You can also go to our website. We have lots of great information there and tons of videos that I try to update all the time on different cases that we've had, and hopefully this information helps you. And that is Rebalance, REBALANCE, as in Peter, T as in Tom, .com. So rebalancept.com. Have a wonderful day.